Good afternoon, distinguished guests, colleagues, family members, and friends. I am so pleased to welcome you today to today's Executive Council swearing-in ceremony. My name is Tracy Tawil, and I am the Executive Deputy Minister to the Office of the Premier. As we commence the ceremony, I ask that you kindly place your cell phones on silent mode. Today's event is being live streamed, recorded, and photographed. We ask that you refrain from taking any photographs during the ceremony. Official photos will be available shortly after we conclude and on social media. We very much appreciate your cooperation in this matter. Once the Lieutenant Governor has arrived on stage, the Vice-Regal Salute will be played. This is an unsung tribute to his honor as the representative of His Majesty the King. I would now ask you to please rise, if you are able, for the entrance of Premier Houston and the designated members of the Executive Council. This will be followed by the entrance of the Lieutenant Governor and Mrs. LeBlanc. Please welcome Premier Tim Houston and the designated members of the Executive Council. Please remain standing for the entrance of His Honor, the Honorable Arthur J. LeBlanc, Lieutenant Governor of the Province of Nova Scotia, and Her Honor, Mrs. Patsy LeBlanc. Please be seated. Now, please be seated. Through the Treaty of Peace and Friendship of 1725 and those that followed, the connection between the Mi'kmaq people and the Crown was formalized, and it remains a foundational aspect of modern Canada. In the spirit of meaningful reconciliation, we are proud to acknowledge your presence on the traditional territory of the Mi'kmaq people in what is today Nova Scotia. We will begin today's ceremony with a traditional Mi'kmaq smudging, a ceremony which uses sacred medicines such as sweetgrass or sage, which are placed in a smudge bowl and burned. The rising smoke represents our prayers being taken to the Creator. Smudging plays a central role in traditional Mi'kmaq ceremonies. It helps to open our hearts, our minds, and our spirits to healing. The smudging will be conducted by Elder Lorraine Whitman.
Well, Alan, and thank you. It's certainly an honor to be able to be here in the presence of the Honorable Lieutenant Governor LeBlanc and his beautiful wife, Patsy. I've been in many occasions, but it certainly is an honor as they're going to be ending their reign very soon. But also, I'd like to say a few words, and I will be doing a drumming with you. And as we did the smudging, for those of you that aren't aware of it, it's not a religious aspect, it's part of our culture. And it's what it is when we smudge, we go over our head. So it's for clearer thinking. And you, as new cabinet ministers, I can appreciate where you're coming from and all the tasks and duties that you have set forth. So we need to be able to clear the old and bring in the new. And even though it's a rainy day, people think, oh my God, it's rainy, I had my hair done. But you know what, it's good because it's cleansing one's spirit, one's soul, and it's also a renewal. And that is your day. And, you know, we've always heard that when it rains on your wedding day, it means prosperity and good luck. So best to all of you, and congratulations to the new cabinet ministers and all of the work that you have forward. When we do the smudging again, we go towards our eyes. So everything that we see is very broad. It's not just narrow. And again, we need to be able to look outside the scope and not work in our individual silos. And that's what you're doing here for the people of Mi'kma'ki, with the people of Mi'kma'ki. Again, we go towards our ears. And when we go towards our ears, that means that we're going to listen and hear what's being said. So when we hear it, we don't always listen, because sometimes we think it's just gibberish. All right, yeah, I've heard it. But you know what? Honestly, you haven't. You need to listen to the messages that the people have to tell you, because that is one of the utmost respect, is when you give respect to the people, then you get it 10 times fold. And then we work together as a community and as a nation. And then we go towards our mouth. So everything that we see, everything that we hear, we also feel. Because it's compassionate what you're doing. Your work that you're doing is compassionate for the people of Mi'kma'ki, for the people, with the people. And that's the compassion of the love. And each and every one of us have that one special 7 sacred teaching, the gift of love. And that's where the gut drum comes in, because that's the first music that we ever hear, is the heartbeat of Mother Earth. And then we go towards our feet, because how are we ever going to let people know if we don't know through the communication mode? From what we hear, what we see, what we feel, we have to take it and move forth. So that's why the importance of smudging is so important to us in our cultural. And then the eagle feather also with the smudging, is what was mentioned at the very beginning, is what it means that the prayers are taken. And I know that you're probably praying and think, oh my God, this is a big issue. You know, the swearing in ceremony is big, and I congratulate each and every one of you, knowing that one of our 7 sacred teachings is being humble, and knowing that humility is a strong character of one's personality, knowing that we don't know all, nor would we want to, but letting the people know, you know what, it's the first time I've been here. I know I'm going to make mistakes. I've made mistakes. But I'm trying to do the best that I can. And that's why we need to listen truly. So with this, I'm going to sing. It's called Ego, I-K-O, with almost like an accent grave. And it's not someone's ego. We don't need the ego. If you have the ego, leave it outside the door, because we're working here as a team, as a group. So ego is what it is. It's a series of chants that's been sung hundreds of years ago. And it's peace and friendship. And there have been the treaty signed with peace and friendship. And I know that you'll, in your role, you'll be doing different agreements, whether they're treaties or what have you, with various organizations and group of people. And with that, we need to have that truth and that trust between each and one another. So I opt to do this. I had a saying what I was going to say today, but sometimes we get these different visions. And my father came to me last night. And my father has passed on since 1996, and he hasn't come to me in my dreams except last night. And it was so real, because he said, what are you doing? And I thought, oh my golly, I'm going to be speaking to the ministers. And I'm thinking, is there anything that you can tell me to say or whatever? But he didn't. He said, no, what are you doing? And I thought, okay, this is a test. And I know, Dad, you're not really here because you've passed on. You're in the spirit world. But I continued in my mind. I said, well, I think I'm going to do, I'm going to do this smudging. I'm going to ask NISCM to give, all the new cabinet ministers guidance for their position that they're going to be going on, to give them courage, because there's going to be obstacles that you're going to face, and it's not going to be easy. But to give them the courage to stand up, to be open and honest, and let the people know that, it's not an easy decision, but we're working together to the best that we can. And then I said, and then I think I'll do the peace and friendship song, Ego. that's my girl. And then I thought, oh my God, Dad, I wanted to hug him for his Christmas hug, but he was gone. So with that, I have been granted by him. And I don't know if any of you are familiar when you find a coin, a dime, that the person from the other side is with you or thinking of you. Well, when I went to put my luggage in the car, went to get in the door, unbeknownst to me, there was a dime. Just as I got in the door, and I thought, okay, that wasn't a dream. You are with me, Dad. So my father's with me today, as is my mother and my sisters. The regalia that I wear, it's my mother. We're from a matrilineal line. She's on the beginning of the skirt, and she has a long braid. There's 7 of us girls in our family, 7 boys from a family of 14, and she gives us all of that energy. So my mom's with me on my skirt, my dad's with me in my mind and my spirit world. So with that, I'm going to do ego. Now, I don't sing like Dolly Parton, and I don't sing like Taylor Swift. So I guess you're stuck with me, folks.
Thank you, Elder Whitman. Your Honor, may we proceed with the swearing-in ceremony for His Majesty's Executive Council?
Yeah, please commence, please.
Your Honor, I have been authorized and instructed by the Honourable Barbara Adams to return to Your Honor the Great Seal of the Province of Nova Scotia, which was delivered to the Honourable Barbara Adams upon her appointment as Attorney General and Minister of Justice.
Thank you very much.
Following the results of the 42nd Nova Scotia general election since Confederation, the Progressive Conservative Party maintained a majority of seats in the House of Assembly, and Mr. Tim Houston, leader of that party, has assured His Honor that he can continue to command the confidence of the House of Assembly and govern the province. With this, His Honor accepted Mr. Houston's assurances and requested that he continue in office as Premier and President of the Executive Council. Your Honor, the Premier has accepted your invitation to continue in government, and he is ready to be re-sworn in. May we proceed with re-swearing in the Premier and President of the Executive Council?
I will be pleased to do so.
Your Honor, would you administer the oaths?
Yes, I will.
Premier Houston, will you please come forward to take your oaths?
Thank you. I, Tim Houston, do swear that I will be faithful and bear true allegiance to His Majesty King Charles III, his heirs and successors, according to the law. So help me God. I, Tim Houston, being appointed to one of His Majesty's Executive Council for the province of Nova Scotia, do swear that I will in all things be a true and faithful counselor and will not reveal any of the secrets entrusted to my care as such. So help me God. I, Tim Houston, being appointed to be the Premier, President of the Executive Council, Minister of Intergovernmental Affairs, Minister of Priorities and Planning, and Minister of Trade, do swear that I will diligently and faithfully perform the duties of these offices while I hold the same to the best of my ability. So help me God.
Congratulations.
The oath jurats from today's ceremony will be signed by the Lieutenant Governor and then countersigned immediately following today's ceremony. The Premier will now sign his instrument of advice on the appointment of a new Executive Council and present it to the Lieutenant Governor for approval.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah. It's already been signed. Yeah. Yeah. Thank you.
With the Lieutenant Governor's approval, we will now proceed with the swearing in of the new Executive Council. The designated Executive Councilors will please come forward to be sworn in when called upon. The Honorable Barbara Adams. Deputy Premier, Deputy President of the Executive Council, Minister of Seniors and Long-Term Care, and Minister of Military Relations.
I, Barbara Adams, do swear that I will be faithful and bear true allegiance to His Majesty King Charles III, his heirs and successors, according to the law, so help me God. I, Barbara Adams, being appointed to be one of His Majesty's Executive Council for the province of Nova Scotia, do swear that I will in all things be a true and faithful counselor and will not reveal any of the secrets entrusted to my care as such, so help me God. I, Barbara Adams, being appointed to be the Deputy Premier, Deputy President of the Executive Council, Minister of Seniors and Long-Term Care, and Minister responsible for military relations, do swear that I will diligently and faithfully perform the duties of these offices while I hold the same to the best of my ability. So help me God.
All the very best. Truly, all the very best to you.
The Honorable John Lohr. Minister of Finance and Treasury Board, Minister of Labor Relations, and Minister of Municipal Affairs.
I, John Lohr, do swear that I will be faithful and bear true allegiance to His Majesty, King Charles III, his heirs and successors, according to the law, so help me God. I, John Lohr, being appointed to be one of His Majesty's Executive Council for the province of Nova Scotia, do swear that I will in all things be a true and faithful counselor, and will not reveal any of the secrets entrusted to my care as such, so help me God. I, John Lohr, being appointed to be the Minister of Finance and Treasury Board, Minister of Labor Relations, and Minister of Municipal Affairs, do swear that I will diligently and faithfully perform the duties of these offices while I hold the same to the best of my ability, so help me God.
John, congratulations.
Thank you very
All the
much.
very best.
All the best to you.
The best to you.
All the best to you.
The Honorable Tim Hallman. Minister of Environment and Climate Change and Minister of Service Efficiency.
I, Timothy Hallman, being appointed oath of allegiance first. I, Timothy Hallman, do swear that I will be faithful and bear true allegiance to His Majesty, King Charles III, his heirs and successors, according to the law, so help me God. I, Timothy Hallman, being appointed to be one of His Majesty's Executive Council for the province of Nova Scotia, do swear that I will in all things be a true and faithful counselor and will not reveal any of the secrets entrusted to my care as such, so help me God. I, Timothy Hallman, being appointed to be the Minister of Environment and Climate Change, Minister of Service Efficiency, and Chair of Treasury and Policy Board, do swear that I will diligently and faithfully perform the duties of these offices while I hold the same to the best of my ability, so help me God.
Congratulations, Tim. All the best. All the best.
All the best to you.
The Honorable Kim Masland. Minister of Emergency Management.
I, Kim Maslin, do swear that I will be faithful and bear true allegiance to His Majesty King Charles III, his heirs and successors, according to the law, so help me God. I, Kim Maslin, being appointed to be one of His Majesty's Executive Council for the Province of Nova Scotia, do swear that I will in all things be a true and faithful counselor and will not reveal any of the secrets entrusted to my care as such, so help me God. I, Kim Maslin, being appointed to be the Minister of Emergency Management, do swear that I will diligently and faithfully perform the duties of this office while I hold the same to the best of my ability, so help me God.
Thank you so much.
Terrific.
Thank
Terrific.
you. Thank you.
The Honorable Tori Rushton. Minister of Natural Resources.
I, Tory George Rushton, do swear that I will be faithful and bear true allegiance to His Majesty King Charles III, his heirs and successors, according to the law, so help me God. I, Tory George Rushton, being appointed to be one of His Majesty's Executive Councillors for the Province of Nova Scotia, do swear that I will in all things be a true and faithful counsellor and will not reveal any of the secrets entrusted to my care as such, so help me God. I, Tory George Rushton, being appointed to be the Minister of Natural Resources, do swear that I will diligently and faithfully perform the duties of this office while I hold the same to the best of my abilities, so help me God.
The Honorable Colton LeBlanc. Minister of Growth and Development and Minister of Acadian Affairs and Francophonie.
Je, sous-signé Colton LeBlanc, jure fidélité et sincère allégeance à Sa Majesté le Roi Charles III, à ses héritiers et successeurs, conformément à la loi, ainsi Dieu me soit en aide. Je, sous-signé Colton LeBlanc, nommé comme membre du Conseil exécutif de Sa Majesté de la province de la Nouvelle-Écosse, jure que je serai toujours un conseiller fidèle et que je ne révélerai aucun des secrets qui me sont confiés à ce titre, ainsi Dieu me soit en aide. Je, sous-signé Colton LeBlanc, nommé au poste de ministre de la Croissance et du Développement et ministre des Affaires acadiennes et de la Francophonie, jure que j'exercerai avec diligence et loyauté les fonctions qui me sont assignées au mieux de mes capacités, ainsi Dieu me soit en aide. I, Colton LeBlanc, do swear that I will be faithful and bear true allegiance to His Majesty King Charles III, his heirs and successors, according to the law, so help me God. I, Colton LeBlanc, being appointed to be one of His Majesty's Executive Council for the Province of Nova Scotia, do swear that I will in all things be a true and faithful counselor and will not reveal any of the secrets entrusted to my care as such, so help me God. I, Colton LeBlanc, being appointed to be the Minister of Growth and Development and Minister of Acadian Affairs and Francophonie, do swear that I will diligently and faithfully perform the duties of these offices while I hold the same to the best of my ability, so help me God.
The Honorable Brian Comer. Minister of Addictions and Mental Health.
I, Brian Comer, do swear that I will be faithful and bear the true allegiance to His Majesty King Charles III, his heirs and successors, according to the law, so help me God. I, Brian Comer, being appointed to be one of His Majesty's Executive Council for the province of Nova Scotia, do swear that I will in all things be a true and faithful counselor and will not reveal any of the secrets entrusted to my care as such, so help me God. I, Brian Comer, being appointed to be the Minister of Addictions and Mental Health, do swear that I will diligently and faithfully perform the duties of this office while I hold the same to the best of my ability, so help me God.
The Honorable Michelle Thompson. Minister of Health and Wellness, Minister responsible for the Office of Healthcare Professionals Recruitment, and the Minister responsible for Healthcare Redevelopment.
I, Michelle Thompson, do solemnly affirm that I will be faithful and bear true allegiance to His Majesty King Charles III, his heirs and successors, according to the law. I so affirm. I, Michelle Thompson, being appointed to be one of His Majesty's Executive Council for the province of Nova Scotia, do solemnly affirm that I will in all things be a true and faithful counselor and will not reveal any of the secrets entrusted to my care as such. I so affirm. I, Michelle Thompson, being appointed to be the Minister of Health and Wellness, Minister responsible for the Office of Healthcare Professionals Recruitment, and the Minister responsible for Healthcare Redevelopment, do solemnly affirm that I will diligently and faithfully perform the duties of these offices while I hold the same to the best of my ability. I so affirm.
The Honorable Jill Balser. Minister of Cybersecurity and Digital Services and Minister of Service, Nova Scotia.
I, Jill Balser, do solemnly affirm that I will be faithful and bear true allegiance to His Majesty King Charles III, his heirs and successors, according to the law. I so affirm. I, Jill Balser, being appointed to one of His Majesty's Executive Council for the province of Nova Scotia, do solemnly affirm that I will in all things be a true and faithful counselor and will not reveal any of the secrets entrusted to my care. As such, I so affirm. I, Jill Balser, being appointed to be the Minister of Cybersecurity and Digital Solutions and Minister of Service, Nova Scotia, do solemnly affirm that I will diligently and faithfully perform the duties of these offices while I hold the same to the best of my ability. I so affirm.
The Honorable Greg Morrow. Minister of Agriculture.
I, Greg Morrow, do swear that I will be faithful and bear true allegiance to His Majesty King Charles III, his heirs and successors, according to the law. So help me God. I, Greg Morrow, being appointed to one of His Majesty's Executive Council for the province of Nova Scotia, do swear that I will in all things be a true and faithful counselor and will not reveal any of the secrets entrusted to my care as such. So help me God. I, Greg Morrow, being appointed to be the Minister of Agriculture, do swear that I will diligently and faithfully perform the duties of this office while I hold the same to the best of my ability. So help me God.
The Honorable Becky Druin. Attorney General and Minister of Justice, Provincial Secretary, and Minister responsible for the Office of Equity and Anti-Racism.
I, Becky Druin, do solemnly affirm that I will be faithful and bear true allegiance to His Majesty King Charles III, his heirs and successors according to the law. I so affirm. I, Becky Druin, being appointed to be one of His Majesty's Executive Council for the province of Nova Scotia, do solemnly affirm that I will in all things be a true and faithful counselor and will not reveal any of the secrets entrusted to my care as such. I so affirm. I, Becky Druin, being appointed to be the Attorney General and Minister of Justice, Provincial Secretary, and Minister responsible for the Office of Equity and Anti-Racism, do solemnly affirm that I will diligently and faithfully perform the duties of these offices while I hold the same to the best of my ability. I so affirm.
The Honorable James Bryan Kent Smith. Minister of Fisheries and Aquaculture.
I, James Bryan Kent Smith, do solemnly affirm that I will be faithful and bear true allegiance to His Majesty King Charles III, his heirs and successors, according to the law. I so affirm. I, James Bryan Kent Smith, being appointed to be one of His Majesty's Executive Council for the Province of Nova Scotia, do solemnly affirm that I will in all things be a true and faithful counselor and will not reveal any of the secrets entrusted to my care as such. I so affirm. I, James Bryan Kent Smith, being appointed to be the Minister of Fisheries and Aquaculture, do solemnly affirm that I will diligently and faithfully perform the duties of this office while I hold the same to the best of my ability. I so affirm.
The Honorable Trevor Boudreau. Minister of Energy.
I, Trevor Boudreau, do swear that I will be faithful and bear true allegiance to His Majesty King Charles III, his heirs and successors, according to the law, so help me God. I, Trevor Boudreau, being appointed to be one of His Majesty's Executive Council for the Province of Nova Scotia, do swear that I will in all things be a true and faithful counselor and will not reveal any of the secrets entrusted to my care as such, so help me God. I, Trevor Boudreau, being appointed to be the Minister of Energy, do swear that I will diligently and faithfully perform the duties of this office while I hold the same to the best of my ability. So help me God.
The Honorable Twyla Rose Gross. Minister of African Nova Scotian Affairs and Minister of the Public Service Commission.
I, Twyla Rose Gross, I, Twyla Rose Gross, do swear that I will be faithful and bear true allegiance to His Majesty King Charles III, his heirs and successors, according to the law, so help me God. I, Twyla Rose Gross, being appointed to be one of His Majesty's Executive Council for the province of Nova Scotia, do swear that I will in all things be a true and faithful counselor and will not reveal any of the secrets entrusted to my care as such, so help me God. I, Twyla Rose Gross, being appointed to the Minister of African Nova Scotian Affairs and Minister of the Public Service Commission, do swear that I will diligently and faithfully perform the duties of these offices while I hold the same to the best of my ability. So help me God.
The Honorable Brendan McGuire. Minister of Advanced Education and Minister of Education and Early Childhood Development.
I, Brendan Oliver McGuire, do swear that I will be faithful and bear true allegiance to His Majesty King Charles III, his heirs and successors, according to the law, so help me God. I, Brendan Oliver McGuire, being appointed to be one of His Majesty's Executive Council for the province of Nova Scotia, do swear that I will be in all things be a true and faithful counselor and will not reveal any of the secrets entrusted to my care as such, so help me God. I, Brendan Oliver McGuire, being appointed to be the Minister of Advanced Education, the Minister of Education and Early Childhood Development, do swear that I will perform diligently and faithfully perform the duties of these office while I hold the same to the best of my ability, so help me God.
David Ritzy. Minister of Communities, Culture, Tourism and Heritage, and Minister of Gaelic Affairs.
I, David Mark Ritzy, do solemnly affirm that I will be faithful and bear true allegiance to His Majesty King Charles III, his heirs and successors, according to the law. I so affirm. I, David Mark Ritzy, being appointed to be one of His Majesty's Executive Council for the province of Nova Scotia, do solemnly affirm that I will in all things be a true and faithful counselor and will not reveal any of the secrets entrusted to my care as such. I so confirm. I, David Ritzy, being appointed to be the Minister of Communities, Culture, Tourism and Heritage, and the Minister of Gaelic Affairs, do solemnly affirm that I will diligently and faithfully perform the duties of these offices while I hold the same to the best of my ability. so I affirm.
Fred Tilley. Minister of Public Works.
I, Fred Tilley, do swear that I will be faithful and bear true allegiance to His Majesty King Charles III, his heirs and successors, according to the law, so help me God. I, Fred Tilley, being appointed to be one of His Majesty's Executive Council for the province of Nova Scotia, do swear that I will in all things be a true and faithful counselor and will not reveal any of the secrets entrusted to my care as such. So help me God. I, Fred Tilley, being appointed to be the Minister of Public Works, do swear that I will diligently and faithfully perform the duties of this office while I hold the same to the best of my ability. So help me God.
Nolan Young. Minister of Labor, Skills, and Immigration.
I, Nolan Young, do solemnly affirm that I will be faithful and bear true allegiance to His Majesty King Charles III, his heirs, successors, according to law. So I affirm. I, Nolan Young, being appointed to one of His Majesty's Executive Council for the province of Nova Scotia, do solemnly affirm that I will, in all things, to be true and faithful counselor, and will not reveal any of the secrets entrusted to my care and such, as so I affirm. I, Nolan Young, being appointed to the Minister of Labour, Skills and Immigration, do solemnly affirm that I will diligently and faithfully perform these duties of office while I hold the same to the best of my ability. I so affirm.
Scott Armstrong. Minister of Opportunities and Social Development.
I, Scott Armstrong, do swear that I will be faithful and bear true allegiance to His Majesty King Charles III, his heirs and successors, according to the law, so help me God. I, Scott Armstrong, being appointed to one of His Majesty's Executive Council for the province of Nova Scotia, do swear that that I will in all things be a true and faithful counselor and will not reveal any of the secrets entrusted to my care as such, so help me God. I, Scott Armstrong, being appointed to be the Minister of Opportunities and Social Development, do swear that I will diligently and faithfully perform the duties of this office while I hold the same to the best of my ability, so help me God.
Leah Martin. Minister of Communications Nova Scotia, Minister of All New Affairs, Minister responsible for the Advocacy Council on the Status of Women, and Minister responsible for Youth.
I, Leah Martin, do swear that I will be faithful and bear true allegiance to His Majesty King Charles III, his heirs and successors, according to law, so help me God. I, Leah Martin, being appointed to be one of His Majesty's Executive Council for the province of Nova Scotia, do swear that in all things will be true and faithful counselor and will not reveal any of the secrets entrusted in my care as such, so help me God. I, Leah Martin, being appointed to the Minister of Communications Nova Scotia, Minister of All New Affairs, Minister responsible for the Advisory Council on the Status of Women Act, and Minister responsible for the Youth, do swear that I will diligently and faithfully perform the duties of these offices while I hold the same to the best of my ability, so help me God.
Your Honor, as Keeper of the Great Seal of the Province of Nova Scotia, may I ask you to entrust the Great Seal to the care of the Minister of Justice?
I would be pleased to do so. Minister of Justice, in the name of His Majesty King Charles III, to your safe custody, I commit the Great Seal of the Province of Nova Scotia, the symbol of sovereignty and authority in this province. Awesome. Okay.
Your Honor, I accept the responsibility to which you have entrusted me in the name of His Majesty the King, and I promise faithfully to keep the Great Seal of the Province of Nova Scotia in my custody so long as I shall remain Minister of Justice.
Awesome.
Distinguished guests, colleagues, family members, and friends, please join me in congratulating the members of the Executive Council. I would now like to call upon His Honor, the Lieutenant Governor, to offer remarks.
Premier Houston, honorable ministers, Elder Whitman, distinguished guests, families and friends, as the King's representative in Nova Scotia, it is my profound privilege to preside over today's ceremony and to exercise one of the most significant constitutional roles as your Lieutenant Governor. À titre de représentant de Sa Majesté le Roi en Nouvelle-Écosse, j'ai le privilège de jouer un rôle dans la cérémonie d'aujourd'hui et d'exercer un de mes rôles constitutionnels les plus importants, à titre de lieutenant-gouverneur. Elder Whitman, what a treat to have you here this afternoon. And as I told you before on a previous occasion, the way that you welcomed us this afternoon here in this hall makes me remember of how Member 2 welcomed the French colonials in 1604, 1605, with the warmth and the generosity of spirit and the honesty and the integrity that you displayed. He would have displayed the same. So thank you. Just a few days ago, I was honored to play a small part, in the swearing in of all members of the House of Assembly. During the ceremony, I was reminded of what an awesome privilege and responsibility it is to be elected to serve Nova Scotians and Canadians as a member of the Legislative Assembly, because members have committed themselves to serve the public good to the best of their ability. Premier Houston, I wish you and your fellow members of the Executive Council all the very best as you continue in office. You have achieved an historic election outcome and mandate. And I think it goes without saying, but I will say it anyway. You would be the envy of all premiers looking to be re-elected this year or next year. But also, you have been elected to represent and to work for all Nova Scotians, regardless of political affiliation. And to the newest members, and to the new members of the Executive Council, there are some that are not ancient but older. I must add that you have before you, and you will serve with you, with a cadre of experienced colleagues upon whom you can rely, not just for support around the cabinet table, but for advice on how to navigate the new responsibilities which you've been asked to discharge. Indeed, being a member of the Executive Council is a high calling, and one that comes with great stress, strain, and expectations. As many of those who have served before you can attest, it is also a calling that can come with a great many rewards, with the implementation of successful policies for a more prosperous and equitable province. We are indeed fortunate to live in a province and in a country where this is the focus of successive administration. However, let me remind you, and I want to use a quote from the late Nelson Mandela. He said, "What counts in life is not the mere fact that we have lived. It is what difference we have made to the lives of others that will determine the significance of the life we lead." Indeed, Patsy and I have greatly enjoyed our interactions at various events here and in your constituencies with so many of you and your other legislative colleagues over the last almost 7.5 years. It would be asking too much to say, well, I'll do another one in 4.5 or 5 years' time, so I'm not going to do it. So we will always, however, remain grateful for the kindness and the generosity and the support, and indeed the love that we have received from many in the communities that we have visited. Patsy et moi avons beaucoup apprécié les échanges que nous avons eus avec un nombre de vous et vos collègues législateurs au cours des 7 dernières années. 7,5 dernières années. Nous resterons toujours reconnaissants de la gentillesse, du soutien et de l'amitié que vous et vos communautés avez manifesté à notre égard. So, Mr. Premier, this is my last public act as Lieutenant Governor. So I'm going to ask you to come and say a few words to all of us.
Thank you all for being here today. What an incredible day. Anyone else can't stop smiling? Thank you, His Honor and Her Honor, for your incredible service to our province. 7.5 years in this capacity. Incredible. I don't think there's a community in this province that you haven't been to. And we appreciate the way you've represented us in so many ways that I can tell you personally, I would love to see you stick around for 7.5 more years. I will miss you, but thank you so much for your incredible service. Thank you so much. And thank you to Tracy and your team for everything that's gone on today. I know there's a lot of planning into this. Thank you. And I do want to say, today I was looking forward to this day so much, and it means so much that that you stuck around to do this one for us. It really does mean an incredible amount to us. I want to congratulate each of the new cabinet members. Thank you for your service to our province, and I look forward to 4 years of producing results for Nova Scotians. Thank you and congratulations. And thank you to our entire caucus. I know some of our caucus members are here today, but we elected 43 caucus members this time. Thank you to Nova Scotians for putting your trust in PC members across this entire province. I'm very proud of the caucus that was elected to serve Nova Scotians. And it's my great privilege to serve with that caucus, to serve alongside each of those members. And these are people that Nova Scotians have asked to do a job to represent them, and that means an incredible amount. It's no easy thing to get elected, and I'm very proud of the caucus that was elected. And now we'll focus all of our energy on delivering for Nova Scotians. Everything we have, we will put into delivering on your behalf, on behalf of Nova Scotians. Nova Scotians asked us to get certain things done, and we take that very seriously. And through all the highs and the lows and the various moving parts, it's incredible to be elected to serve this province. There's a special kind of pride in saying, I'm Nova Scotian. It means a lot to all of us. This is a province. This is a province that's been shaped by hard work. All across this province, from sunrise to sunset, our spirit is anchored in resilience. And no matter where we go or how far we go, we carry Nova Scotia in our hearts, always working to try to get back home to Nova Scotia. That is the Blue Noser way. I know I did that. That's the story of my life. Carol and I lived away for a bit. And there was never any doubt that we'd move back to Nova Scotia. It was always our dream to come back to Nova Scotia and raise our children here in Nova Scotia with their family. And I'm very proud that we were able to do that. I'm very proud of the way our children turned out. Thank you, Carol, for your love and support. My mom and my sister are here with me today. I thank them for all their support over the years as well. Thank you. We love you. As a founding province in this great nation, we are built not only on ships and shipbuilding, but we're built on many, many legacies. And to be Nova Scotian is truly to rise again after every fall, to rise stronger. That's what it means to be Nova Scotia. We take pride in our history and our heritage and our hospitality. This is a place where strangers become friends and friends become family. This is the standard that we, as a new government, as a newly elected government, will strive to meet. I promise you that. It is with great honor that I acknowledge the trust that Nova Scotians have placed in our team. And it is with great honor that we accept the task of meeting this standard of Nova Scotia. We will do everything we can. We are ready to do it. We find ourselves here today because of an incredible team of candidates who put their trust and faith in our campaign team and in me personally, and I feel the weight of that trust. But for it all, I am eternally grateful. And I am grateful for the love and support and kindness that Nova Scotians showed me all across thousands of doorsteps from one end of this province to the other. And nobody does it alone. We did it together with our team and our campaign team. And I thank everyone for their personal support and for their efforts in making this happen. And on behalf of all candidates and certainly all elected members, I know they all want to thank their families and support networks, each of you, for being there for them. So thank you for that. And for me, there's communities that put our trust in us. And for me, that's the good people of Pictou East. And I'm driven to deliver for the people of Pictou East and all Nova Scotians. And I feel the warmth of Nova Scotians cheering us on, knowing that our success is their success. And their success is our success as well. We know that. So thank you to all Nova Scotians for their kindness. Even the lady while I was door knocking, who wouldn't come to the door, but said through the window that she was fine. We didn't need to talk. And I said, oh, come on, the Premier's come to see you. Come on out, open the door. Let's have a little word. Let's have a discussion. And she said, well, dear, let's nod and say we did. How about that? I enjoy those interactions with Nova Scotians, whether it's a pat on the back or emotional discussion about policy disagreements. I enjoy those interactions. Even the refusal to open the door to talk to me, I enjoy that because Nova Scotians are always kind and they're always respectful. I can tell you through tens of thousands of doors, Nova Scotians are kind and respectful. But I feel the weight of delivering for them because we are so fortunate to live in this province. It is a beautiful province. We are absolutely so fortunate to live here. And if you ever doubt the beauty of this province, I hope you get the chance to travel it in a big bus with your name on the side. It's a pretty good way to travel the province. I think when we travel around this province, even as Nova Scotians, we often find ourselves just breathless of the beauty of this province. It is a great province. It is a province where anything is possible. From our people to our beaches to some of the best golf courses in the world, literally some of the best golf courses in the world just a couple hours drive from here, to our blueberries, to our very own Napa Valley of the East that we have in this province, to our hockey rinks. We produce some pretty good hockey players too, by the way. But we have it all in this province. We have everything. We are lucky to call Nova Scotia home. We have our challenges, yes, we do. But we have such incredible opportunities. And for this next term, our government will give you everything we have to make life better for you and your family. We will give everything we have to fix healthcare, to continue on the healthcare journey. By the way, the plan is working in healthcare. Last week, the Health Authority released new numbers on this need a family practice list. You may have heard of this list. I always say this is a list. My hair was black when I first heard of this list. But last week, the Health Authority released new numbers that show that that list is now 119,000 people on that list. And I accept that that is still 119,000 people, and there is work to be done, and we want to attach every single one of them, and we will. But it's also important to note that that's 119 is down from 132,000 in early November, which was down from 145,000 in October, which was down from 160,000 in June. Things are going the right direction in this province. And this is all before the new medical campus at CBU really hit stride. This is all before the new International Medical Graduate Assessment Clinic hits stride. That opens in January. The medical school opened in this summer. These things will make a tremendous difference. So we are on the right path. Recruitment of healthcare professionals across the spectrum is working. It takes time, but things are happening in this province, and we will continue to make things happen in this province. Our motto, my motto, has always been more, faster. And I should let the team know that I'm updating this motto to more, faster-er. But everyone on our team, everyone in our caucus commits to the more, faster approach. There is no room for slow. Nova Scotians have a right to expect that their government feels the same sense of urgency that they feel on the issues that matter to them. So we will continue to focus on healthcare. We will continue to focus on housing. We will continue to look for ways to make life more affordable for Nova Scotians. And this term, we'll also be very focused on growing our economy and continuing to lower taxes. We have to grow our economy to be better able to support the services that Nova Scotians have a right to expect. And we do what we can, and I always say we do what we can. Sometimes we do a little more than we can, but we always wish that we could do more. And there is more to do, and we will do it. And as the economy grows and creates more opportunities for more people, then government can also do more. And there's good news, because Nova Scotia has so much potential. We have incredible potential in energy and energy security. We have incredible potential in our fisheries. We have incredible potential in the agricultural sector, in food security, in mining, and even space. Nova Scotia is leading the way on so many of these things, and we will continue to push that. We have the vision. Our party, our new government has the vision to continue to move the province forward. And yes, that does include lowering taxes. And in fact, just this week, in our first session of the legislature, in the couple hours we did pass a motion for the first time in the history of this province. We have lowered the HST. We made that happen. We will make it happen. I have never been so proud to be Nova Scotia. Nova Scotia is on the rise, and the rest of Canada is taking notice. They are watching across the country. Our people are returning. They're drawn back by the promise of something greater. We are standing tall with our sleeves rolled up, ready for what's ahead, no matter how long you've lived here, who you voted for in this past provincial election, no matter the color of your skin, your gender, who you love, the language you speak, or how you pray. Our government will listen to you, we will respect you, and we will do everything in our power to continue to improve healthcare and to continue to make a difference for your life and your family and make things more affordable for Nova Scotians. Everything before today prepared us for today. And we know that there is lots of work to do. We know that. But I am excited about the future of this province and what we will accomplish together. I am very excited. I can't wait for us to just keep rolling, keep moving forward. Thank you for joining us today. We are humbled and honored by the trust you put in us, and we will give you everything we have. Thanks for being here today.
Thank you, Premier Houston. I would now ask you to rise for the playing of our national anthem. Please be seated. In a few moments, the formal portion of today's ceremony will conclude with the departure of the Lieutenant Governor. This will be followed by an official photograph of the Premier and the Executive Council, which will be taken to my left along the wall. Following the official photograph, a reception will be held just outside of this room. On behalf of the Lieutenant Governor and Premier Houston, we thank you for joining us for today's ceremony. I would now ask you to please rise for the departure of their honors, the Lieutenant Governor and Mrs. LeBlanc.